Yo, what's going on, y'all? It's Combo Breaker 99. I'm back with another quick breakdown and prediction for this fight weekend coming up. Got a lot of fights going down. Got some big ones, man. We got the Charlo doubleheader. And, of course, on UFC, we have Israel Adesanya versus Paulo Costa. But first up, man, I just want to do my prediction for this Jermell Charlo versus Jeison Rosario fight. First off, I have to say this fight's going to be explosive. Charlo, he's been ready for this unification since Jarrett Hurd had the belts. Rosario, he's ready for the second biggest fight of his career. His first big fight was against J-Rock, winning the first two titles. And, he's going right back in. He's going right back in with Jermell Charlo just to prove that he wants the best too. Going into this fight, I think that Charlo, he's going to have to be the boxer puncher in this fight, while Rosario, he's going to be the puncher boxer. I think Rosario is that guy that he can put constant pressure on you. He packs power in both hands. And he lets his hands go. The second he gets in the pocket with you, he likes to let his hands go and try to break you down. So for Charlo, I think this will be his chance to be the smarter boxer, showcase his skill, and pick Rosario apart from the outside, wear him down, and just kind of frustrate him until he can land the big shot. And until then, of course, he is going to have to pile up points and shots on Rosario, because Rosario, like I said, he likes to let his hands go. And with his style, he can look convincing. He can definitely look convincing on the judges' cards if he's just hitting you on the arms and hitting you up the middle, and if you try to absorb those shots. But I think that Jeison Rosario is definitely he's definitely a tough fighter. I think he definitely has the power to hurt Charlo, but I also think Charlo has the power to hurt him. So real quick, keys to victory for Jermell: jab. His jab, number one. Jermell, he'll need to use this weapon in many ways against a constant pressure puncher like Jeison Rosario. He's going to have to use it as a rangefinder to keep the power puncher back, and also as a snappy offense. When he used the jab on Tony Harrison, I feel like it was very effective. When he was able to let that jab go and hit Tony Harrison up the middle, it was effective. And I feel like if he keeps this jab in the face of Rosario, it's definitely going to slow down the pressure from Rosario, who doesn't really move his head a great deal. So if Jermell Charlo uses that timing, he'll be able to shoot that jab up the middle and set up his power shots like the left hook on Jeison Rosario. Next up, I think the range is very important for Jermell. He has the longer reach of the two, so fighting at a mid-range to outside range will be smarter. No need to give Rosario any room to work, where I feel like in the pocket is where Rosario is going to be most dangerous. So when he lets those combinations fly, you got to make sure you're out of the way. You got to make sure you're on the outside and you can counter, because Rosario, he'll commit to 2-3 punches and kind of let his defense down. So if you're fighting at a mid-range or outside range, you can definitely shoot off that 1-2 and possibly drop Rosario or hurt Rosario bad. So the best thing for Charlo to do, I think, to not even get into a firefight with him early on or later on, you just got to stay on that outside, get the full extension off your straight shots, and just keep him on the outside. Next, stay off the ropes. I think Rosario, his best work is on a stationary target or a target that likes to come inside. So Charlo needs to keep the fight in the center of the ring and use his footwork and use his angles. This is the fight where he's going to have to do more movement, in my opinion, to get off the better shots and to stay one step ahead of Rosario. So definitely, keep your back off the ropes, stay out of the corner, because like I said, when you get to that point, Rosario, he's going to have that good, combination to let go on you. As soon as he gets you in that corner, he's already loaded up and ready to fire off power shots in both hands. And like I said about Rosario in the past, each shot he throws has bad intentions once he gets you in the pocket. So if one misses, he's going to land the other. He's a good precision puncher. I don't think people give Rosario a lot of credit for that when he lets those combinations go. Next up, be a dog, only if you have to, for Jermell Charlo. If you get in the corner with Rosario, don't be afraid or apprehensive to let your hands go. Rosario, he can dish power out, but at the same time, I don't think he can take the power the same. I think he can dish it out, but I don't know if he can take it the same, because, he's been dropped before and he's been hurt before, So if he leaves himself open and, he's firing off those exchanges, don't be afraid to, shell up a little bit, see what's coming and let those hands go and knock him back to get your respect, because like I said, he has been stopped before. So whenever Rosario closes in and you know that you're in that corner and you can't get out, make sure you get off first. Whenever he's stalking, he's cutting that range off, you got to let your hands go or rough him up in the pocket, or just tie him up. Just tie him up and make it an ugly, rough fight in reversal on Jeison Rosario. For Jeison Rosario, I think the pressure is going to be important. I don't mean that remedial pressure, that juvenile pressure where you're just coming in with your head leaning and, like trying to swarm the guy, especially like a guy like Jermell Charlo who can hit hard. You gotta feint and move the head. You gotta close the distance, and on the inside, you gotta work those. You gotta go ahead and get off those punches. Get off those combinations to back the boxer up like Jermell Charlo. Keep that good range where it kind of makes the other opponent feel uncomfortable. It's definitely going to make you feel uncomfortable if you just constantly keep that pressure on a fighter, but at the same time you're out of range. You're constantly moving your head a little bit so they can't get off, but you're standing right in front of them, but they can't get off, which makes it kind of makes it uncomfortable for a fighter. So that's the type of pressure Rosario has to keep on him, and he has to keep doing that behind his jab, behind his straight jab and straight right hand. You have to keep doing that, because before Charlo can counter, Rosario definitely, you got to hit him with something hard. You got to hit him with something hard to be first and make those shots count. So you got to take Charlo out of his comfort zone by just putting that pressure on him. Tony Harrison, not really like a hard puncher, but hey, if you look at his record, he has some knockouts. He definitely has some respectable power and some respectable pop. So if you look at Tony Harrison did put some effective pressure on Jermell Charlo at times. He definitely did, put that pressure on Charlo at times, which, I thought was impressive. So I think that Jeison Rosario, he has to do the same thing in this situation. Right hand, definitely got to use that right hand. I think Rosario has a lot of power in both hands, but I think he's pretty good at setting up his right hand as a counter shot and splitting the guard. So when he's putting that pressure on Jermell, when Jermell throws that jab, he needs to come over the top with that right hand, that overhand right, come over the top over his jab. Or if he gets into the pocket, he needs to set that right uppercut up. That's the same punch that was hurting J-Rock in the the Jeison Rosario and J-Rock fight. So that right hand definitely has power whenever he sets it up. Though I know the left hook does, but if you want to get over that jab and get the respect to Charlo, you got to start countering with that right hand over the top. Next up, put punches together. Definitely put those punches together, because like I said, Jeison Rosario, he has power in both hands. He throws some nice combinations. So to stay one up over Charlo, you definitely got to keep letting those hands go to keep Charlo in defense mode. And when you let them punches go, you're definitely gonna land something. As far as my prediction, I think this is a good fight. I'm leaning more 60-40 towards Jermell Charlo. So I am gonna pick I'm gonna pick Jermell Charlo by a late round stoppage in this fight, or a decision. I think that Charlo, he definitely has the ability to box and make Rosario miss early. And I think as the rounds go on, Rosario, he might wear himself down if he can't land like some clean combinations in this fight, because I think Jermell has some pretty good defense when it comes to blocking shots. He's definitely good at tucking his elbows and keeping his temples covered. But at the same time, I think he's going to stay out of range. He's not going to fall into a lot of the exchanges that Jeison Rosario did. And, I think that J-Rock did. So I think that Jermell, he definitely has more power than J-Rock as well. So I don't think he's going to fall into those exchanges, like I said. But he's going to be the counter puncher here too. So as the fight goes on towards like the mid rounds, I think that Jeison Rosario, he's going to lose some energy, and that's whenever Jermell Charlo, he's going to catch up with him down the stretch after picking him apart, and he's going to land a big shot and possibly drop Jeison Rosario later on in maybe like the 8th and 9th round. That might lead towards a stoppage. But yeah, that's what I'm going with. I'm going to go with Jermell Charlo by late round stoppage. I think it's going to be a good fight, though, for as long as it lasts. This is a very solid unification fight. This is what we've been waiting for. So yeah, let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. Do you think Jermell Charlo is going to win this one, or do you think Jeison Rosario is going to be that unified champion? But yeah, guys, let me know in the comment section. Make sure y'all subscribe here, Combo Breaker 99, as well as the Jab Effect. I'm out. Peace.